Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
That's mine. South Beach, Sunday afternoon, a little stroll. No, I didn't go to the Dolphins game. There's a story behind that, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas and summer here on South Beach, Florida. Moving along. What else do we have? This was going to be a big story. If this is my photo coming, yeah. Okay, how you guys took that one. Saw my little buddy Habs. Seattle Kraken Saturday night taking on the Florida Panthers in a wild hockey game. We're going to be talking about that. It was nice to rekindle friendships with Jordan, the former Regina Pat, and voted the greatest World Junior ever to be produced by this country on the TSN poll. What else do you got? Let's keep rolling. Let's go. Chop, chop. Oh, this is a very popular shot, Darren. Explain.
Yeah, this is me and my dad. We were at the curling. Mom was there too, but Dad and I had an original 16 beer at the curling trials in Saskatoon. They came into town for a few days, so that was really awesome. And I think there's one more shot of what I did on the weekend when I finally put my feet up. The only other piece of business I did is I went out and purchased, we went and picked up our Christmas tree on the weekend. So I'm not sure if we have that photo or not, or if this is, there to go. So that's our empty Christmas tree. Hasn't been decorated yet, but that was literally the extent. The rest of it was spent feet up on the couch, so it was good.
You deserved it. If anybody deserved the break, it's you. Our photo album is brought to you by Great Western Brewing Company. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Now,
How did this fly get in there? Somebody got a fly swatter?
yeehaw!
It was a shot of Prairie Jesus is really what it was.
It was.
You'd think we would be getting used to it, but we never get used to it. We never get tired of good things happening.
This life doesn't get old.
No. It was a nice little distraction from the real world, and here we are today for a coffee session.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It absolutely is. It is Tuesday. That means Taco Tuesday, and we're coming to you live from South Florida with, ironically, Canada's daytime sports talk show. And it's another one of those days where you plan out the show, and we did. Gregg Zaun, 16-year major leaguer, is going to be with us, World Series champion. Gregg Zaun, Zani, will be joining us to talk MLB, free agent signings, and Mark Mathews of the National Lacrosse League Saskatchewan Rush. But it's one of those days where news just drops in your lap just before you go to air, and you got to completely rejig everything, and that's totally fine. Not the least of which is guests dropping in and out, and maybe that's where we will open on this Tuesday with episode number 623 as we go back to the bunker, which is originating from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We have producer Clark on the show. Ta-da!
What is going on?
How about that?
How about that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
The third Sedin has reared his head and come out of his cage in the back of the room. How you doing, Clark? You ready to do this?
Yeah, let's go. I'm looking forward to it. So much stuff's going on in the last week or two, and where do you even want to start?
We'll leave that up to me.
I will.
And by the way, the Silver Fox, Kelly Rempel, chiming in as well in hour 2 to talk about all of these topics. And while we are not opening up the phone line just yet in terms of reading viewer comments, Taco Time viewer takeover will appear in moments. You can write us right now, 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Write it down. Put it on the coffee table. Put it in your phone. Put it on the fridge because we want to hear from you. But can we please, Director Jordan, hit the quick 6 show horn, please? And thank you. I should mention, by the way, Moose is on the way to Vancouver. He'll be broadcasting live his portion of the show Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from Trinity Western College in Langley, British Columbia. I'll still be here. But anyways, this is what's usurped the sports world. Oh, my phone's ringing like crazy here. I think it's related to this. Number one, yeah, right. I'm reading this from 3downnation.com. Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive back Loucheiz Purifoy was involved in an incident at a local restaurant Sunday evening following his team's West semifinal win in the Canadian Football League. The Riders issued a statement Tuesday morning that reads, "The club has looked into this matter, and while the police were called to the establishment, Purifoy has not been charged with any wrongdoing related to the incident." Loucheiz played in 12 regular season games this year, making 39 tackles, 3 special team stops, and 2 interceptions. For his efforts, the 28-year-old Florida product earned the Riders' Most Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year award. So we're not talking about some Rudy poo here. And Clark, you asked me when I first heard of this. I heard about it last night. I was actually watching Yellowstone. I'm like, leave me alone with this, guys. So I heard about it, didn't report on it. I knew that it would come out. And here it is. And we're like, what, an hour into this, Clark? I mean, one of the reporters that was going to come on our show today had to bail because he's attending a news conference hosted by the Roughriders with regards to this. So with our American viewers kind of wondering what's going on here, hang on, because we do have hockey coming up, but this is a pretty big deal. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are heading to Winnipeg for the CFL West Conference Final this Sunday, and their most outstanding player was involved in an incident at a South End Regina establishment on Sunday night, and here we are. But there were no charges laid, Clark, so I guess the question, you are a little more on the social media buzz than I am, like what's popping? What are they saying out there about this?
Yeah, so I've heard a few different things, and obviously the 3 Down article was where I was first alerted about this. You said you heard about it last night, and it's kind of started obviously trickling through some of the different media outlets. And, this is never an easy thing to kind of navigate, and especially coming into a playoff matchup against Winnipeg where you're going to need all hands on deck. A team with, 15 All-Stars. The Riders just squeaked by against Calgary this week. They're going to need all hands on deck. And then this happens. And obviously, we don't know what happened, full details. We haven't heard, I don't know if they're going to talk about it in the press conference today. But hopefully more details come out, and it's either good or we figure out what's going on and he's not playing this week. But Loucheiz Purifoy, like you said, he's a massive part of that defense. And then the defensive backs on this team are obviously a big part of what the Riders do on defense. They're very good at turnovers. They have been all year long. They were against Calgary. They were very good, defending the pass against Calgary for the most part. And, they just need to play this one safe, because we were talking about it before the show, Rod, but, this is a situation where if there's going to be blowback if he plays, it might be better off to not play him, depending on the circumstances surrounding the issue. And obviously the Riders are going to know more about it than any of us do at this exact moment.
Yeah, well, it happened less than 48 hours ago, and you had mentioned that this is kind of harkened people back to 2013. 4 members of the football team were charged with assault in August of that year, which was like mid-season, not the week of the division final. And you asked if they played, what I remembered about that. And yes, I do remember they played. And I remember the president of the football team stomping down the hallway into the general manager's office going, why are these guys playing? Well, hey, innocent until proven guilty. We got to win, right? So in this case, while the Riders say the police attended the incident, nobody was charged. So I fully expect he'll play. But I've seen a little bit of the blowback, if you will. I like that term you used. And people are really pointing the finger at Saskatchewan going, what is going on over there? It's like it's one gong show after another. A lot of those comments coming from Winnipeg, I might add, and from their fans. But anyways, that's the big news there. And we'll revisit that because I want to know what the viewers are saying, whether he should play or not, given this incident. I'd be shocked if anybody thinks he shouldn't, given the little amount of details that are known. Anyways, moving on to point 2, and that is NHL from Monday night. Connor Garland had the winner in the second period as Vancouver held on for a 2-1 win over the Canadiens at the Bell Center as the Canucks snapped a 4-game losing skid. The Jeff Gorton era, if that's what it is, did not get off to a good start. The new co-GM of the Montreal Canadiens. Michael Backlund scored the deciding goal in the shootout as the Calgary Flames overcame blowing a lead late in the third to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-1 Monday night. Milan Lucic scored in regulation for Calgary, which has points in 8 of its last 9. Jacob Markstrom had 21 saves to improve his record to 9-4-4. The Winnipeg Jets struggles continue. this time against a rookie goaltender. Unheralded Karl Vejmelka made 46 saves to record his first NHL shutout as the Arizona Coyotes clipped Winnipeg 1-0 Monday night. It was the Jets' 6th loss in 7 games, despite outshooting the visitors 46-15. And Jared McCann and Mason Appleton each scored 2 goals, and the Seattle Kraken beat the Buffalo Sabres 7-4 Monday night. Brandon Tanev had a goal and 2 assists, and Carson Soucy and Jaden Schwartz also scored for the expansion Kraken, who scored the most goals in franchise history. Yanni Gourde and Morgan Geekie each had 2 assists. So that's the NHL story from Monday night. Other than the NHL suspended Bruins forward Brad Marchand for 3 games for slew-footing Canucks defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson during Boston's 3-2 victory a day earlier. He'll lose about $92,000 in pay. We're going to move on to baseball in a moment. But are we waiting, Clark, to hear on a suspension for Milan Lucic for his hit the other night on the Jets' Ryan DeMello, the boarding call that he got, the 5-minute major, which left the Jets player bloodied? I'm trying to remember where that... Oh, it was in Mike Stackhouse's column. I was reading about it today, which is posted at rodpedersen.com, which I don't think a suspension is warranted. Are we sitting here on Tuesday, the fact that there's no suspension, thinking there's not going to be one?
It's so hard because the Department of Player Safety is anything but consistent on most of these things, especially in the last couple of years. So even to go out and see, what Lucic did, I'm sitting here today and I'll be like, well, I mean, they've made several different decisions in the last few months where I don't know what they're going to do. They just go out and suspend Marchand 3 games for slew-footing. And there was a slew-footing incident just a couple weeks ago, no suspension. But Marchand got suspended. So, there's all these different things going on with the DOPS, as they call it, Department of Player Safety, where the consistency issues, I think, are getting to a point where I don't know what is and what isn't suspendable anymore. And it's making it hard as a fan to know how we should feel about certain things at this point in time. So at this point, I don't know. It could go either way for me.
Yeah. Well, I looked up the hit because I wasn't watching the game, and I'm like, he turned into him.
Right.
Like, there's really nothing Lucic could have done, and because he ended up bloodied. But
it's Lucic, right? And Lucic, he's a big physical power forward. He's been in trouble before, and not like it's been recent. Not like he's in trouble a lot. But I feel like that always plays a part in whether or not the discipline comes down or doesn't. Is if there's a past history or not. And with Lucic, it's kind of it's one of those middle ground ones.
Yeah. Well, look at Marchand. 3 games for slew-footing somebody. Used to be a 2-minute penalty. Right. So I kind of somewhat loathe to get into these types of discussions because I'm with you. I don't know what's a penalty and what isn't anymore. And you sure as hang can't predict what they're going to do with suspensions and discipline. So it's just kind of hang on to your bingo cards and see what they say. Patrolman Pete's watching in Winnipeg, and he says, I encourage more members of the Rough Riders defense to get into legal trouble between now and Sunday.
Don't encourage them.
Boom.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, has any of the local media asked Duke Williams about the spitting incident on Sunday? Really good question. This from a scorned Stamps fan whose team lost on Sunday. But Shawn Lemon, star defensive end of the Calgary Stampeders, was kicked out of the game for throwing a punch in the playoff game at Saskatchewan receiver Duke Williams, who allegedly spit on him. And again, CFL not a whole lot different from the NHL in these regards. Where's the video? Like, Clark, as we sit here on Tuesday, have you seen any video of Brendan Lemieux spitting on Brady Tkachuk Saturday night?
Well, that was the biting incident, right? Where they were...
Or not spitting on, biting, I mean.
Yeah.
So biting him. But is there been video of that?
Right. The only one I saw was, it was kind of a zoomed out camera of it, kind of from the penalty box angle. So it wasn't a great angle, but the blood, the evidence was there, at least for that one. With a spitting incident, it's kind of, if you don't get a real zoomed in shot of it, it's really hard to see the evidence of a spitting incident because, guys are sweating. It's the end of the second half. Or the end of the first half. They just got into, I think it was a really tight goal line stop or whatever it was with Shawn Lemon out there. So it's kind of hard for a spitting incident to be like, see, look, it's spit. It could be anything. And it's tough because Shawn's our boy. We love Shawn here on the show. So it's I don't know. It's really hard to say, but I have not seen it. I know that when it happened live, I was at the stadium with my dad and my sister and our season ticket holder friends around us. That was a really big turning point during the game. And it was just at the end of the first half. So it was kind of a, cameras are probably starting to go out and not zoomed in on certain players because they're getting ready for the next thing going into halftime. So, yeah, that's going to be a tough one to really get more evidence or more video footage of.
Good point. Probably was the TSN turning point. And but the fact, Jeff, the Stamps fan, is looking for an outright investigation into this. And I think everybody has moved on. But I think in 2021, the fact that there is no video evidence of this is inexcusable. Unless it didn't happen. By the way.
Right.
Trent, watching in Norway, writes in Trent Bruner. He says, Norway here. Congratulations to Dupes getting back on the Rush broadcast crew. Great to see Clark on air. I still think the Canadiens have a large hole to get out of. Stay safe, everyone. Trent checking in from Norway. Moving on, and we're only going to get through 3 of these points, and then we're going to have to break, and we'll come back and divulge more. The ones on my computer are a little different than the ones on my notepad. I screwed that up this morning. So I'll just quickly say the Washington football team has worked itself into the NFC playoff picture by winning 3 straight games since a 2-6 start. Kendall Fuller intercepted Russell Wilson's pass on the last-minute 2-point conversion attempt last night to secure Washington's 17-15 victory over Seattle. On Monday Night Football, Wilson connected with Freddie Swain on a 32-yard touchdown pass with 15 seconds to go, but came up just short of leading a comeback. To baseball, which is point 4. A current and former Cy Young Award winner have found new teams. The Mariners are finalizing a contract with Robbie Ray pending a physical. Ray won the 2021 AL Cy Young Award, as we all know, with the Jays. Max Scherzer has agreed to a 3-year, $130 million contract with the New York Mets. The deal expected with Robbie Ray to be $115 million over 5 years. He's coming off the best season of his career, of course, 13-7, 2.48 ERA, and 248 strikeouts in 193 in the third innings. He immediately becomes the ace of Seattle's staff. Marco Gonzalez, Chris Flexen, and Logan Gilbert are also under contract for the upcoming season. We're going to break this down more after the break, and Gregg Zaun will join us as well. And the points that I want to get to next are the Canadian Football League Division Finals. The betting lines have shifted a little bit. I want to talk about the ratings and over 1 million people tuning into the Western semifinal on Sunday. Everybody's shoving that in our face, saying, oh, you said the CFL's dead. Over 1 million people watched. Here's my response on that. That used to not be breaking news if over 1 million people watched the CFL game, okay? That used to not be breaking news. We'll talk about that, and then we'll incorporate the viewers, too. So we'll be right back. This has been the warm-up on the RP Show, brought to you by E-Code Electric. Come see our sales staff and in-house specialists for all your electrical needs. So we'll get the crowd into it when we come back. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube, live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I am proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues on this Tuesday. Can we get the third Sedin on the screen?
Cheers.
Going fast, eh, Producer Clark? Going fast.
That first segment, every single time, like I know we have the Daily Blitz podcast. It goes so fast every day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
We need
Gregg
a
Zaun
buddy,
coming
Rick
up.
Regan. That's what we need.
Yeah,
buddy.
World Series champion Gregg Zaun coming up, and also Mark Mathews of the Saskatchewan Rush. Cynthia in Pittsburgh is watching. Cindy Price, she's texted in on the 902 number, and she says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Rod, you slay me with your Gong Show reference." Gong. I don't know. I use it like 20 times a day, at least, the term Gong Show. I love it. Before we get to that CFL-related stuff, Jeff Caldwell is watching in Redmond, Oregon. He says, with the Robbie Ray signing, can us forlorn Mariners fans finally expect to be in a pennant race? No. And listen, Clark, baseball, I think, is your number one sport, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I thought it was a benefit to bring you on. In 60 seconds or less, can you wrap this up? Robbie Ray chased the money. He sure as hell didn't go to Seattle because they thought they were a World Series contender. He might as well have stayed in Toronto for that. He chased the money more than anything.
The thing about Seattle, too, is they had a really kind of a magical year last year, and they're losing a few of their bigger guys. Kyle Seager is their third baseman. He's been there forever. He's gone. So Robbie Ray, it's funny because the Blue Jays gave Kevin Gausman almost the exact same amount of money, just a little bit less. So I'm assuming that the offer was on the table from the Blue Jays, but he wanted to go back out west, and he ended up going to Seattle, who I think, again, could be a really interesting team in the next year or two while he's there, but they have a lot of work to do, and I think they're going to try to be aggressive in free agency, but, it's going to be hard to kind of roll on the magic that happened last year with them.
Yeah. One pitcher, Cy Young Award winner or not, is not going to make the Seattle Mariners a magical contender in the American League West. And Craig in Calgary writes in regarding our discussion yesterday about the college football bowl discussion. And I'm so happy I brought it up, Clark, that I don't feel as stupid as I did on Saturday when I was listening to the Miami Hurricanes postgame show and they're talking about going to a bowl game. And I'm like, wait, you guys weren't that good.
Yeah.
How does this work? So Craig in Calgary is watching. Craig in Calgary watching on Game Plus TV says complaining about the bowl game seems to be an annual NCAA tradition. But let's just face it, the sponsors pay the money for each of them, and all of that money goes into building football programs. So why not just enjoy watching holiday football? No. But I wasn't complaining about it. I plan on attending these bowl games, as many as I can. The question was, how do you get into one? How do they decide? There has to be some sort of template, some sort of formula that I'm not aware of.
There are so
and nobody
many.
Nobody yet has been able to explain it to me. But I'll get on the horn to some football guys. Trust me. God knows I know enough of them. They're ringing my phone all the time. But anyways, moving on. I'm just checking in the comments here as we can now start Taco Time viewer takeover, where it is Taco Tuesday. $2 tacos. Can you believe it?
Oof. Might have to get on.
Here's the betting lines. Here's the betting lines for Sunday's CFL Division Finals. Saskatchewan at Winnipeg. The Bombers are now favored by 8. Yesterday it was 7. So it's swelled to 8. And Toronto continues to be favored by 1 point at home over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And I'm like, come on, Bet Regal, get off the fence. Give us a bigger line than that. Argos favored by 1 over Hamilton. And again, Winnipeg favored by 8 over Saskatchewan. But I want to look back for a second at these ratings, because I see that it's triggered quite a discussion here in the comment section. And they're saying we should have the Taco Time Bowl. Isn't there one?
Who's in it? Who would play in that one?
We don't know yet. Let's figure it out. It might be a sim game. But anyways, I don't know what it was. Was it 1.3 million? Here was
something like that.
I was talking to Moose this morning on his way to the airport, and I said, why are these people like rubbing this in our face, these tweets? Nana, nana, boo, boo. Over 1 million people watched the CFL West semifinal. I said, yeah, well, I was one of them. Why are you, what's the deal? You said the CFL was dead. Well, I said it was going to die, and I was wrong on that. I'm shocked that they made it through COVID. But I applaud the fact that over 1 million watched. But we used to get over 1 million for regular season games. So that was my first point. And I, like Jason Fichter from the All Rider Prider fan page, specifically called out DuPont and I on this. And but we kind of had a back and forth, and he was very mature about it, and he was good. But I guess my point is, this is a gate-driven league.
Right.
So the fact that there were big television ratings right now isn't really helping matters in the Canadian Football League. It's not. Bravo that it stayed alive. But we knew that Canadians love the CFL. We knew that. That's not the point. But the CFL that I want is one that's thriving, one that's healthy, one that takes care of its people. And we're nowhere near that. But people don't understand that. And that's why I'm kind of averse to talking about the Canadian Football League on a 100% basis of this show, because what people see on television every week is not what's actually going on. And because of what I know, I'd rather just not talk about it. But I say bravo to the 1 million+ viewers. What's your take on all of that?
That's great. Like you said, it's great that people are watching on TV. But in the way I look at it, they already have a TV deal for extended period of time. So great TV numbers, They're not going to bring in any extra money for the CFL at this moment. What they do need is, like you said, ticket sales. And we used to have these great TV numbers, like you said. Every year after year, week after week, these numbers would come in, and they were selling out stadiums or at least having really good crowd numbers. That's not there anymore on average. There's pockets here and there where there was really good crowds. But on average, we're seeing some dwindling numbers. Edmonton, of all teams, is struggling this year with ticket numbers. The Riders, like, for example, Rod, you tell me, at any point in time during your tenure, did a West semifinal home game happen where there was 24,000 people in the stands? I'm going to say probably not.
Packed every time.
Right.
It's packed every time.
The weather was gorgeous. I was there with my dad and my sister. The weather was unbelievably nice. It was a great Sunday. It was an early afternoon on a Sunday, 3:30 start time. It wasn't too late. I know that there's a lot of people that do travel in for games. Obviously, this is the Saskatchewan Roughriders. People are coming from all over the province. But that's concerning to me as a longtime season ticket holder, that there was only 24,000 that could muster up the time and energy to go to a game in November on a gorgeous day for a playoff game against Calgary of all teams too.
Yeah.
That's the concerning part.
I'm just checking in. Yeah. So checking into the viewers on some of the comments here. Darren in Salt Lake City, Utah says, "Hey Rod, sorry to ambush you with the late question about the last CFL game in Toronto. That came yesterday." He's like, "Is this near the end of the show?" Darren in Salt Lake City said, "Is this Sunday's East Final going to be the last CFL game ever in Toronto?" He says, "I read the info on the Toronto Sun, wondered if you had any insight or knowledge of the possibility." No knowledge, no interest in that discussion at all. Nothing.
Yeah. I wouldn't think so.
No. And somebody in Winnipeg, sorry, you know how my comments are working here. From Patrolman Pete. He says, "Don't be one of those doom and gloomers, Rod." And that's why I'm not. They're not getting it, and they're starting to annoy me, Clark.
Well, and
let's just ignore the problem.
Right.
Let's just ignore it, and let's just not talk about it, and then it'll go away, because that always works. So, again, what I know about CFL business, it is doom and gloom, so I'd rather not talk about it. And on the week of the East Final, the Toronto Sun is going to run a story that the Argos are leaving or they're going to another. Why? Is this some sort of conspiracy theory to sabotage the Toronto Argonauts? Or are the Argos behind it?
Well,
this is our last game, so you better buy a ticket.
Yeah.
This is so CFL. Why are we not talking about the game, like the actual matchups in the game? Why are we talking about this?
Exactly. And I think there's a difference, too, that there's a fine line between doom and gloom and just being a concerned fan for the league and seeing trends that aren't great. It doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. We're just seeing these trends, and we want it to be better. Like, we've talked about this lots of times. We're not trying to be the doomers and gloomers. We're trying to, get this to a point where we can make it better.
Justin Wolf, watching on YouTube, says Rod is the king of "I don't want to talk about it," and then talking about it for 15 minutes. Hey, trust me, I get it. But if you really want to know where my focus is, look around, brah. Go to rodpedersen.com or listen to Cat Country or Rock 98.5. My focus is on the game here tonight in Sunrise, Florida. Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals against the Florida Panthers. Maybe that should be the poll question today, which we have yet to post or even talk about, Clark.
Right.
And that's my bad, because you had some suggestions, and I was like, let me get back to you. Will tonight's Washington-Florida game determine the best team in the National Hockey League?
There it is.
Yes or no?
There it is.
Because to me, yes, it will. But what I was going to say to you, the low-hanging fruit would be, which is Canada's game of the week in the CFL? The East Final or the West Final?
We got more days for that one, though. We got more days. I like the tonight.
Okay.
Tonight's. I like the Washington, Florida one. Ovechkin's just red hot. Like he's 27-year-old Alex Ovechkin again. It's crazy. And Florida just keeps pumping out wins. So I love it. Let's do it.
Well, 4-4-2 in their last 10.
Right. Yes.
I was reading the game notes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whatever. I have stopped trying to tell people. I've stopped trying to tell people and convince them where my head is, where my heart is. They're just not getting it. So just continue to tune in every day, and we'll talk about the things that make us happy. But my head is not on CFL attendance. But I'm watching the games, and I thought we had a pretty good breakdown on Monday of how the Riders won the game, how Calgary lost the game. Same thing with Montreal Hamilton. But as far as how the CFL does their business, I don't care. I really don't. From Habs for Life fan in Vancouver, do you give me permission to jump on the Panthers bandwagon? Oh, you absolutely can, son. That is a hurting Vancouver Canucks fan right there. Habs for Life 1. And James Zylstra, who I believe is in Manitoba, says, Florida all the way, man. Yeah, this is what I will explain. The Vegas Golden Knights are still my number one team. There's no two ways about it because I know too many guys on that team. But going there was great. But when I got there, I realized they don't need any more coverage than they're getting. I tried to get into the press box, and they laughed at me. We're bursting at the seams in the press box. To their credit, the Golden Knights gave me 2 tickets in the lower bowl for 2 games. That was great. But here in Florida, it's been way, way, way different. Weather's better. The team appears to be better, and it's just been a far better fit. I want to say one thing. Jeff, the Stamps fan, has been hammering away on Bo-Levi Mitchell here. And I'm glad that he's still here, Jeff, the Stamps fan. But did you notice Bo's comment after the game? And, well, I think we only got about a minute and a half here. But did you notice his comment about athletes are battling a lot of things the fans don't even know about? I thought Bo got really real after that game. And it wasn't an excuse, which is, by the way, another thing. The CFL just wants the fans to do exactly what they're doing. And if I was the CFL, I would be the same. Just watch the games and don't look under the hood. I just wonder what specifically Bo was referring to, because I don't know if he's vaccinated or not vaccinated. I just talked to a CFL player this morning that's not, and he said life's been hell, but this is his choice. Did you see those comments from Bo? And if so, what did you think? I thought it was pretty revealing of him.
I didn't see them. However, I wouldn't put it past Bo to say something like that, because we know that Bo-Levi Mitchell is one of the he's not afraid to say what's really happening and say, you know, he's not afraid to be himself and say things that matter to him. So if this is the case and he wanted to be outspoken about it, that makes a lot of sense that he would come out and kind of be the voice of that. And I'd love to know more. I'd love to dive in and see what he is referring to.
That's a 30 for 30, 20 years from now.
I'll reach out.
Because right now that's a great idea. They clearly don't want anybody to know about it, and that's fine. Clark I guess this is it. Unless, is Gregg Zaun is Zauni ready to rock?
Yeah.
Okay. Clark, thanks for stepping in, bro.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
World Series champion Gregg Zaun joins us next. You're watching the RP show from sunny South Florida on the Game Plus television network, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Lots going on today. And we'll recap it all coming up next segment in the Taco Time viewer takeover. But for now, it's time to talk ball. Ball for all. Robbie Ray is the Seattle Mariner. Max Scherzer is a New York Met. Steven Matz is a St. Louis Cardinal. Marcus Semien is a Texas Ranger. None of them are Toronto Blue Jays, other than Kevin Gausman. And we bring in our Major League Baseball insider, World Series champion, 16-year Major League vet, and philanthropist, Gregg Zaun. How you doing, Zani?
I'm doing great, Roddy. How are you?
100%. I'm wondering if any of these moves in free agency in the majors have surprised you at all. Not the money figures per se, but where guys have gone.
Well, yeah, Scherzer to the Mets is extremely intriguing. That team is, in my opinion, a lot further away from being competitive in that division than one would think. And I always equate Scherzer with upper echelon. So for him to go to a middle of the road National League East team, there had to be somebody else out there, offering those dollars. So that one surprises me quite a bit. I'd have to look into that and see if there wasn't some sort of a backstory about why he wanted to play for the Mets. Who knows? Maybe he was a Mets fan growing up and always wanted to be a Met. Yeah. But, the other ones don't surprise me at all. I mean, obviously with the year Semien had going to chase that money, he had to. He had to go get those dollars, because you never know if he ever has another season like that again, because that ballpark in Toronto is awfully hitter friendly. And, it's a tough to duplicate hitting environment.
What do you know about the Robbie Ray situation? Because I think Jays fans are obviously brokenhearted. Only the fourth Blue Jays pitcher to ever win the Cy Young. And when he turned down that qualifying offer the same day as he won the Cy Young, did you know or feel that he was gone no matter what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you guys know how I feel about Canada. You know I love it. You know I love Toronto. But, I'm never going to sugarcoat reality with you guys. Free agents in the prime of their careers, when they have the hammer, they are not going to go play for the Toronto Blue Jays. They're not going to stay. Robbie Ray left, Semyon left. They're just not going to do it. And with that in mind, the Jays should try to lock up Junior right now, because if he gets a free agent, he'll probably leave too. You got to ask yourself this question. Why would you, as a guy who has all the power in the world for the first time, go to a foreign country that's going to tax you up the wazoo? Yeah, there's an exchange rate, but everything's more expensive there. You're not going to buy a home because you're not going to plop your family down in the middle of Toronto, Canada in the wintertime if you're not a Canadian. And even you look at, former Canadian, baseball player like Larry Walker doesn't live in Canada. Corey Koski doesn't live in Canada. Matt Stairs doesn't live in Canada. None of those guys stick around and stay. So for people to be brokenhearted, I get it. But just wish the guy well. And I can tell you this, with regards to Robbie Ray, it all comes down to, is everybody in the game willing to buy in to the fact that he made some wholesale changes in his game and they paid huge dividends? And oh, by the way, he's going out to the American League West in a huge pitcher-friendly ballpark in Seattle. I think he's only going to get better, to be honest with you.
These viewers they have two things to say. One, Zaune, they love seeing you. And two, they all want to know if you think the Blue Jays can overcome these losses.
Well, sure. I mean, look at what they did. They caught lightning in a bottle with Robbie Ray. Junior's getting better. The offense is getting better. I still think there needs to be a more dynamic guy at the helm, somebody that's a little bit more of a fundamental disciplinarian type of guy. I mean, Charlie's he's a nice enough fella. I played against him, but he does. When I look at him, he doesn't scream leadership to me. He doesn't scream a guy that everybody's going to jump on, and get behind and do what needs to be done. The dirty stuff, the hard work. They're close. And they can replace a guy like that. They certainly can. Obviously, you don't expect him to go out and have another Cy Young Award year. I think he's going to get better, but who knows how much better. Anything's possible. They got a good nucleus there, but I really think they need that one last little bit to push them over the edge. And for me, it's a more dynamic personality at the helm, somebody to kind of change the brand. Because that's an awful lot of swing and miss and an awful lot of poor defense and poor base running stuff that, guys like me, old school guys, we don't put up with that crap.
And you've been saying it all year, and he just seems like the ultra nice guy, but maybe too nice. Hey, lastly, Brian Snitker, the Braves have picked up the option on his contract. Not a shock. 66 years of age, World Series champion. He's a career baseball guy just like you. You ever brush paths with this guy? Your thoughts on Brian Snitker? And what a story he's been.
Yeah, well, exactly what I'm talking about. He's a grinder. He's a baseball lifer. Kudos to Alex Anthopoulos and that organization for recognizing the fact that this guy deserves to be there. There should be more people like him in the game. Period. These guys, these front offices need to get back to hiring guys like Snitker. They need to get back to hiring baseball people and baseball coaches, not YouTube sensations with gimmicky swing paths. Stop playing video games with real baseball players. No, it doesn't surprise me. I'm happy to see it happen. Would love to see more of it. And, I didn't ever cross paths with Brian unless it was, accidentally. We were probably in the same place at the same time. Never met the man, but sure do have a heck of a lot of respect for him and the way he goes about his business.
Oh, how can you not? Hey, I got to ask you this. You got to deal with BioSteel cooking, or is that just the jacket? What's up with that?
No, you can say the same about Liquid Muscle. These are just old clothes. I don't get anything free anymore. I'm a retired baseball player, retired broadcaster. selling COVID tests and, studying to be a stockbroker down here in the United States. So I'm trying to make all these free clothes last as long as they possibly can.
Well, you make them look great. At least they fit your forearms. Zauni, always good.
Yeah.
Keep in touch.
You bet. You know it. Here when you need me, pal.
Gotcha. Same here. World Series champion Gregg Zaun chiming in on the Blue Jays' losses. Not a lot of gains there. When we come back, a sports update and Taco Time viewer takeover on this Taco Tuesday. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Taco Time viewer takeover time. Every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday for only $2 each. Do you order hard or soft-shell tacos? Beef or veggie? Fact of the matter is, it's hard-shell beef. It's the only answer. There's a taco time in Miami, by the way. I promised to check it out, and I will. And I'll get to your comments in a moment, but a sports update first. The Western Hockey League has announced that Calgary Hitmen forward Shawn Lemon has been named WHL Player of the Week. The Ducks prospect recorded 8 points, including a hattie in a pair of Hitman victories this past week. She-Girl, who hails from Whitecourt, Alberta, began his week Saturday with a second career WHL hattie, adding an assist as Calgary shut out the Blades 7-0. He was named the game's first star. And Spokane Chiefs goaltender Mason Beaupitt has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. Beaupitt, who appears on NHL Central Scouting's Players to Watch list in advance of the NHL draft this summer, stopped 59 of 61 shots this past week, posting a 1.001 record and a .96 goals against average. And how about this? Get this one ready. A .967 save percentage in the process. Rick Regan awake back there? .967 save percentage.
How about that? I like it.
This thing on?
Right on.
Here we go. The Toronto Raptors look to get back on track at home when they welcome the Memphis Grizzlies in NBA play tonight. The Raptors are a woeful 2-7 at Scotiabank Arena. And the league-leading Washington Capitals are on the road. Finally, something I want to talk about as they take on the Florida Panthers as part of tonight's NHL slate. The Caps have won 3 straight games and 8 of their last 10 to lead the overall standings. The Caps and Leafs both have 33 points, but Washington has a superior winning percentage. I'll be at it, FLA Live Arena, and that is my featured game. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or Christmas business Christmas party now for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to have the CFL game put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We're going to wade into the comments that have come in on the text line, and you can always write us at 902-518-3033. And I'll preface some of these for those that don't know what they're referring to. This is an easy one from Don Mitchell, our Navy friend. He says, the Rough Riders will need to play mistake-free on Sunday. I cannot see that happening. Regarding the attendance, I just want the Board of Governors and the Commissioner to acknowledge the issue. First step is acceptance, right? Please, somebody tell me when's the last time you heard from Randy Ambrosie, the Commissioner of the CFL. I'll wait. The correct answer is the passing of Angelo Mosca. But when's the last time you saw the Commissioner? Unless last minute of play in hour 1. Unless they showed him on Sunday and I didn't see him, which is possible. I didn't see him. From Dom, watching in Edmonton on Game Plus TV. He says, Rod, the thing that got me was the attendance in Regina. It wasn't sold out. That has to be concerning to the league. Not interested in talking about that. Not today. Not my problem. It's theirs. Jeff in Redmond, Oregon. Was the Argos article written by Dickie Dunn? It reminds me of the Charlestown Chiefs moving to Florida. I don't know. There's a lot of shysters down in Florida. We'll talk about that with the Silver Fox, Kelly Rempel, coming up in hour 2 after this break right here on Game Plus Television.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Now,
how did this fly get in there? Somebody got a fly swatter?
Yeehaw!
It was a shot of Prairie Jesus is really what it was.
It was.
You'd think we would be getting used to it, but we never get used to it. We never get tired of good things happening.
This life doesn't get old.
No. It was a nice little distraction from the real world, and here we are today for a coffee session.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to Hour 2 of the RP Show, proudly brought to you by Great Western's Original 16 Beer. We get a lot of fun coming up for you this hour, including Saskatchewan Rush forward Mark Mathews as the Rush get ready to open their season at Halifax here in the first week of December. If you're just joining us, you've missed a lot. Coming up, last hour, in Hour 1, we were joined by World Series champion Gregg Zaun, our MLB analyst, talking about these losses the Blue Jays have sustained. Howard has texted in on the 902 line. He says, I'd like to know if Zauni's coming to Grey Cup next year in Regina. My memory recalls him having fun and loving it the last time he was here. Howard and Regina. Well, hey, we had plans to go to the Grey Cup in Hamilton this year and get the Zauntourage rolling, and it just didn't quite play out that way. Well, we've got a very dear friend in the bunker in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, the Silver Fox, Kelly Rempel, joining us here today. How you doing, Silver Fox?
I couldn't be better. The only place you're going to come to be a guest on a show, and when you're hungry, you get a G2G protein bar. I went with the almond mocha this morning, Rod. I'm in a good mood. I've been fed. I'm happy.
It's very good. Very good. But my favorite is the almond coconut. Rems, let's delve right into the topics of the day, if you don't mind. And again, for the viewers that missed it off the top, A Saskatchewan Roughrider, Loucheiz Purifoy, was involved in an incident Sunday night at a South Regina restaurant after the Western semifinal. The Roughriders win. He addressed the media this morning. He was not charged. I believe the Roughriders said that he slept at the police station on Sunday night. I'm getting more reports as we go along here that a woman is facing an assault charge in connection with the incident, but Loucheiz Purifoy is not. I know Loucheiz. I will vouch for Loucheiz. I think he's a great guy. But great guys sometimes do dumb things. But the question is, should he be playing in Sunday's Western Final? I say absolutely, but I get that the debate is raging in the Rider Nation and across the CFL. What's your take on this news today, Rims?
Well, it's the timing couldn't be worse, in some respects. But, these incidents do happen. It's unfortunate that they happen. What's fortunate, though, is we haven't really been dealing with a lot of this stuff. I remember back in the Roy Shivers era, it seemed like every time you turned the television on or the radio, there was something happening.
Of course.
We don't deal with these situations, fortunately, here in these parts very often. But, every few years, something like this is going to happen. And, if it's the guy that's doing your drywall or the guy that's pumping your gas or even the person that might be teaching your son in school that does something like this or gets involved in this type of a situation, nobody knows about it. And frankly, nobody really cares. But when it's a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it's all over the news. The rumors start swirling. Everybody has an opinion. Look, I don't know how anybody could possibly think that he shouldn't play in the game on Sunday if we don't even know what the circumstances were. We know that they were serious enough that he had to be, called down to the police station. But how do we know that he wasn't there for questioning? How do we know that he wasn't there to give his side of the story, whatever that might be? I don't believe he was charged. So obviously the police didn't feel that at least at this point, that it was serious enough that he involved, that he was charged with anything. So if you're not charged with anything, then I don't even know if you have the right to hold him out of the game. I don't think that you could. Even if you wanted to, I don't think you could.
Kelly, you and I both know incidents with this football team of players that were charged and played that week. So if he wasn't charged, why would he not play? So moving on, and I'm going to come back around to this Sunday's CFL Division Finals in a moment, but you are one of the most staunch Blue Jays fans that I know, to the point of PVRing games and going back and watching them if you missed on a daily basis out of 162. So they've lost Robbie Ray, Steven Matz, now Marcus Semien, signed Kevin Gausman. Like, that's going to somehow fill the hole left by a Cy Young Award winner. Gregg Zaun feels that the Blue Jays can fill those holes. I don't know if you saw our interview with Zani last hour. He says they better get Vladdy locked down soon. But how do you feel about the exodus in free agency with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Well, I guess if it was obvious that they weren't making any effort to sort of re-sign quality all-star caliber type players, I would be more concerned. They lose a left-hander in Ricky Ray, who did win a Cy Young, but they replaced him with a right-hander in Gausman, who many people actually feel that if you were to take a look at what the projection might be over the next 3 to 5 years, they're both excellent. Not everybody is convinced as I am that Ricky Ray, is going to continue to be able to perform at this level. I think that Pete Walker's done an amazing job with that guy, and I don't think he's going to look back. I think now he's not only got the velocity and the movement on his fastball, but now he's found his location. So I don't think it's going to be a flash in the pan. I'm not expecting that the new right-hander is going to replace Ricky Ray, but I would rather that they at least go out and find somebody of that caliber than feel like, they're bringing in, B guys. You know what I mean? Guys that are marginally, playing in that caliber. They've replaced them with a tremendous pitcher, and I don't think they're done. I mean, depending on what report that you read, Rod, they're still out there actively, looking at players. They're obviously going to try to find an infielder, even if you did move Biggio, over to second base, now you need to find a third baseman. I think they're going to try to find a second baseman. And I think that they're not done. And I think that, they're going to continue to try to improve. The one thing that, you bring up Vladdy, well, this team's core right now, I believe, as far as what I can see in the eyes of management, is that Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette, and to some extent Teoscar Hernandez, are the core. These are the guys that they're trying to build this franchise around. It wasn't Marcus Semien. It's unfortunate, but I think they knew even before the season that we're only going to have this guy for 1 year. So if you want to lock these other guys down, and think about what a guy like Vladdy or even Bichette is going to require for a salary when their contracts are up, they're going to have to pace themselves a little bit. And I think their priority is going to be to re-sign those guys. And so think about what it's going to take to, the numbers now it's almost not even real. I just can't relate to $200 and $300 million contracts and things of that nature, but that's where we're at.
Stupid money.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You might have some fun with this poll question. Feel free to attack it or agree. But our poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is this: will tonight's Washington Capitals Florida Panthers game in Sunrise, Florida, determine the best team in the National Hockey League? On Twitter, last I looked, over 90% of respondents saying no. Where's Rick Regan on that one? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I can tell you this. I'm fired up to go to the game and watch Ovi tonight at FLA Live Arena. I really am, Remps. But are you in the 90+% that don't think that this will determine supremacy in the National Hockey League tonight?
Yeah, it's one game, right? It's not a 7-game series. It's one game, and anything can happen in one game. What if one team's power play goes, 2 for 4 and the other goes 0 for 5? That team that scores the 2 goals will probably win, but it doesn't mean that they're a better team. It means that on that night, they were the better team. Maybe one goaltender just gets absolutely red hot in one game. Doesn't make a season, but it's still fun. I was scoreboard watching here. I was scoreboard watching here the other night, just at a more local level, to see what was happening with the Kamloops Everett Silvertips game, and we never get to even see those teams, but or at least live. But everybody's always interested when those first place matchups take place. But a lot of times it's a 3-2 game or a 3-1 with an empty net goal, and it's a play here or a play there, a call here, a call there, a post, a bounce. It's one game, but it's still fun.
It's going to be fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed bumping into Jordan Eberle here Saturday night when the Seattle Kraken were in town. Pause for a second to tell the viewers, addiction, it destroys relationships, families, and lives. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help, regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center, recovery for life. Visit their website, aurorarecoverycenter.com. Now to the hot stuff. And that is the Riders and the Blue Bombers, which the point spread has swelled to 8 points. Kelly, Winnipeg is favored by for Sunday's West Final. In the East, Toronto favored by 1 over the Hamilton Tiger Cats at BMO Field. You're a football guy. If you're coaching the Saskatchewan Roughriders, what are you doing for a game plan Sunday going into IG Field?
Well, I'm probably spending a little bit more time than I normally would on a red zone offense. I'm doing absolutely everything that I can possibly do to prepare my football team that once they get inside the red zone, to make sure that we're getting 7 points instead of 3. If this team is kicking field goals all day and counting on, Brett Loeffler to win them this football game, I don't think it's going to happen this time. They're going to have to put the ball in the end zone. So I think that I'm exploring I'm pulling out film from the last however many years. I'm watching other teams' film, and what successes that they had against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm doing everything, exploring every possible scenario to make sure that this team doesn't get stymied inside the 20-yard line. But the other thing I'm also doing offensively, Rod, is I'm making sure that there's some sort of a vertical passing game. I mean, we saw a little bit of it. I thought it was really interesting. When they absolutely needed to get points late in the game, they weren't doing the dink and dunk stuff. They were going vertical, 10, 15 yards down the field, and they had success. So I'm not sure why they would have waited until then when they were in a panic emergency type situation where we have to score a touchdown on this drive or we lose, to kind of get out of that mindset and start putting the ball down the field vertically and take some shots. I mean, how many times do they have single coverage with Shaq Evans as an example? And I know things haven't gone his way this year, and there's something going on there with the offensive coordinator and the quarterback and the receivers, and it just seems a little disjointed to me. But you get single coverage with those great athletes, those speed guys on the corner, and you can tell by looking at the defensive formation that the safety is either in the middle of the field or he's way up in the box. What possible harm can there be once in a while, Jason, to put the ball up over everybody's head, throw it 40, 50 yards down the field, and let one of your athletes go get the ball? I mean, you might get a pass interference penalty. Who knew? You know, they have to start stretching the field a little bit. I know their quarterback hasn't had his best year, and I know your offensive line isn't as good as it probably could or should be, although I did think they were a lot better in the last game. But there's no way that they're going to be able to win this football game unless they have a bit of a vertical passing game. That's just how I see it. Defensively, I say just keep doing what you're doing. I do think there's going to be a few more twists and exotic blitzes and things of that nature, but I wouldn't try to tinker too much with your defense. Your defense has been fantastic.
Well, here's one for you in the couple minutes we have left in this segment, and I think we'll switch it around to NFL next segment and more NHL. But people are bringing up, to me, particularly longtime Rider fans, what about the 89 West Final? Sask went into Edmonton, took on the 16-2 Eskimos and upset them.
Yep.
Could very well happen. Could very well happen. There's no doubt. But what I remember is that Saskatchewan blitzed them 40-plus times that day on the frozen tundra of Edmonton. And Tracy Ham, they didn't know what hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Is Saskatchewan going to do that, do you think, on Sunday? And if they did, would it work?
Well, I look, if you ever tried that against Tom Brady, he would score 100 points. Okay. Right. There are some quarterbacks that are, Aaron Rodgers, I know we're talking about two different leagues, but I'm just thinking of two guys right off the top of my head that they want you to do that. If they had it their way on every play, you would blitz on every play. They would know immediately where to go with the ball. You'd have no chance. Okay. I don't really know in this situation with the Zach Collaros, whether or not, I don't have the analytics to know what the percentages are and how well he specifically deals with those blitzes. But I do think that your best chance in the football game, period, is to get big plays. I think if you're just going to rely on your team to just kind of hang with these guys for 4 quarters, I don't think you have a very good chance. You're going to have to win the turnover game, for one. You're going to have to make some big plays, for 2. And your best way of doing that is to create something that they're not expecting. And blitz is an easy way to do that. There's only so many different coverages, zones, man on man. There's only so many different things that you can do. But you can twist, you can stunt, you can do some different things with your line. You can bring linebackers, even halfbacks, have a safety come over the top and cover them when you're bringing pressure. I would try to have Zach Collaros. The other thing I would do, Rod, not to do too deep a dive, I would try to bring my blitzes from his right side, okay, the defense's left side, to force him to roll out across his body. I would make him run to his left all day. Cut off half the field for him, make him run to his left the whole day and have to throw across his body, and keep him in second and long situations So I'd probably be doing some zone blitzes to even if they do hand the ball off, you've kind of taken care of your business on the line of scrimmage, try to keep them from being in second and short. Because if they're in second and short all day, you're going to lose a football game.
Hour 2 of the RP show is brought to you by Great Western's Original 16, the new Canadian Ultra Lager from Original 16 with only 80 calories. You can feel great drinking it anytime. When we come back, we'll jump into Taco Time viewer takeover. The comment of the week, it's a $50 gift card from our friends at Taco Time. Rems and I can talk about anything. This guy's a football guy, a hockey guy. Bret Hart's former manager, WWF promoter. We can get into that, right, Rems?
Oh, yeah.
All when we return. You're watching the RP show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues. A beautiful day down here in South Florida. And want to tell you that we're going to jump into Taco Time viewer takeover. What the heck? It is Taco Tuesday. I'm sure Kelly Rempel, our co-host, riding shotgun today, is a Taco Time fan. Who isn't?
I love the place.
Taco Time Canada. Taco Time Canada. What's his? I won't even ask what Spencer's. What's your go-to at Taco Time? Do you shake it up a little bit? Do you move it around, or do you get the same thing every time?
I kind of float between like the super soft taco and then the bean burrito taco. I like them both. If I'm really hungry, I get one of each.
Good for you. I like it. Taco Time Canada.
The sour cream, Rod, the sauce that you dip it in.
Has over 120 locations across Canada. And let's not even get started on the United States. There's several down here too. Sports, not a sports update, but breaking news from this Tuesday morning, and I'm reading this from 3downnation.com. Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive back Loucheiz Purifoy was involved in an incident at a local restaurant Sunday evening following his team's West semifinal win. The Roughriders released a statement which reads, "The club has looked into this matter, and while the police were called to the establishment, Purifoy has not been charged with any wrongdoing related to the incident. He was the Roughriders' most outstanding defensive player of the year this season at the age of 28. We've debated this. We've put it to bed. Kelly and I both agree. If he's not even facing charges, why would we even talk about him not playing in this Sunday's Western final, which I also think we've debated to death. And I will get our VP of Sim Events, Nelson Hakowicz, has run the numbers, and I don't have them in front of me, and I want to switch topics here too, but I think he's got Winnipeg and Hamilton. He's run simulations, Kelly, 10,000 simulated games per game, and he's got like 60+% chance of Winnipeg winning, maybe higher, and Hamilton winning too, which would bring about a Grey Cup rematch. Paul Figler's watching from Red Deer. Figgy says, anyone know how much it costs to fly to Florida from Calgary? I should go visit Roddy. Do you have a thing called the internet? Figgy, look it up.
Oh, good one, Rod.
I see. Kelly, hey, I'm down here in Dolphins land where they've won 4 in a row.
Yes.
And they're all excited that they have a chance, at the very least, a wild card, outside shot at winning the division, which is going to be hard with the hard-charging Patriots who've won 6 in a row. But your Vikings, I never hear anything about the Vikings. Are you like your good man, Peter Lombardi, is like literally giving up?
No,
you're just checking the scores. You're not.
No,
you too, or just Lou?
Lou has. Lou's not even a fan anymore. He just, and I don't necessarily blame him. He's just been, kicked in the you-know-what so many times by that team that I think he basically has just kind of given up and he just doesn't watch the NFL anymore. Myself, personally, I'm an NFL fanatic, and I have watched every single Vikings game. And every single game, Rod, every single game that team has played, there's been 11. Every one has been decided at the 2-minute warning or inside. The 8-point loss that we had, he had a chance to tie the game late. We actually had a legitimate opportunity to win that football game. And again, 2-minute warning, and we just fell a little short. We're probably where we should be. We're 5-6. We could easily be 4-7. We could easily be 7-4. When every single game comes down to like the last play, it doesn't take much to, to kind of, tweak the standings a little bit. We're never going to be good enough to catch Green Bay. That's not going to happen. I mean, they're a better team than we are. There's no question about that. But what's really interesting is, as you say, that wild card. I mean, the NFC is a little different than the AFC. In the NFC, all of the division winners, with the exception of maybe one, is pretty much determined. Everybody knows who's going to win the divisions. It's more a case of where they're going to be seeded, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the wild card is crazy. There's like 8 teams that are fighting it out. Whereas on the AFC, there's equally as many teams that are in the mix, but in all of the different divisions, they're still fighting for first. So like New England as an example. Who would ever have thought a month ago that they'd be where they're at? But now they're actually on top of the division as I even kind of take a look. And the Buffalo Bills, who everybody thought was going to win, are now behind the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be a race for first, whereas in the NFC, and especially in our division, there's nobody even close to the Packers. So at best, you're talking wild card.
I want to get viewer participation here, by the way, now that I think about it. And you talking just brought something into my mind. Robert Griffin III is now doing color commentary for sure on college football. He might be doing some NFL games. RG3.
Oh, yeah.
You got to follow the guy on Twitter because his analysis is outstanding. And he went on today. You're talking about the Patriots, maybe think about it. And he basically said, you got to give Belichick credit that he completely changed the way he has done things the last couple of years because he had to.
Yep.
And he said he went out and spent in free agency, which he's never wanted to do. He took a quarterback in round one, which he's never done. And Mac Jones might end up being the offensive rookie of the year for sure in the AFC. And my question is, who is your favorite analyst? To all the viewers, football only. But I will allow you to use NFL, CFL, U Sports if you want, because some people are admonishing us for not talking about the Huskies in the Vanier Cup. But I digress. I'm not saying RG3 is my favorite analyst, but he's making a late run. This guy's got good analysis. And there's a lot of guys, Remps. There's a lot of guys and gals, for that matter. I'm still going to say Troy Aikman, obviously, because Troy is my boy. But is there somebody... Really, Why?
No question. I find that he's the one guy that when I'm watching NFL football, almost every single broadcast, even as a guy that's coached football for many, many, many years. Now, I haven't coached at that level, obviously, or CFL or even college or whatever. But I'd like to think I have a pretty good understanding about the game. More X's and O's than like your average guy that just goes to the game and watches. I'm looking at stuff they're probably not watching. Every game I watch Tony Romo broadcast, you learn something. 3 or 4 or 5 things about football that I probably wouldn't even have thought about, thinking about. This guy knows what play is going to happen before the play even happens. Believe it or not, people used to criticize him for that. I remember his first year when him and Nance were doing games, he'd always have the chalk or the teleprompter, I guess, or not the teleprompter. What's that called when they circle the board before? Telestrator. He would be doing that and having arrows all over the field, telling people what's going to happen before the play happened, just because he knew thinking as a quarterback and thinking as a coach, what they're going to do in that situation. And people used to say, well, he's taking all the fun out of the game. Because now I know what play they're going to run before they run the play most of the time, and it's less fun. And I'm thinking, what? So you would rather he kept that secret to himself and didn't give you something to chew on while you're watching? To me, that's the fun of it, is if I can learn something, and I realize people don't want to be schooled all the time while they're watching. And maybe I'm looking it through my eyes and not somebody else's, but I just think the guy is brilliant. I think that he has a way of breaking down a game and expressing complicated views that even people that don't have like a savvy football mind can understand.
Yeah,
and
that's why I asked you, because I want your opinion.
Yeah.
But my question, I just want to clarify, is I'm not necessarily saying a color commentator. Now, yours is Tony Romo, and that's cool. My cousin Christine is watching from Medicine Hat, and she says, not a Romo fan. My take on the predicting plays, Kelly, is why weren't you doing this when you were quarterbacking the Dallas Cowboys if this was that easy to you? But I digress. It's a bit of a sore subject to me. But I'm saying guys at the panel, too, or females, like Milt Stegall, Davis Sanchez, Jim Barker, Rex Ryan, Randy Moss. Does that throw a little bit of a wrinkle into your answer? Robin and Prince Albert watching, he says, for the CFL, Chris Walby was good in the old CBC days. See what I'm saying? Could be Adam Schefter. Could be Dave Naylor.
Okay. Well, I would still
Does that change your answer at all?
It wouldn't change my answer, but what I would say, like if I broke it down into groups as far as a panel guy, I actually think that Dunnigan and Stiegel and that group do actually a pretty darn good job. I find they're for the Canadian Football League, we're lucky to have guys of that caliber. We're lucky to have a guy as good as Glenn Suter doing analysis. I don't expect those guys to be as good as what they have on Fox or on, and I know that sounds terrible and people may criticize me for saying that, but I don't expect the level of broadcasting for the Canadian Football League to be as good as it is on ESPN. I don't know why, but I certainly don't expect it from a production standpoint, and I don't expect Glenn Suter to be as good as Chris Collinsworth. But I think Glenn does a really, really good job.
He's had enough years at it. He should.
I think
But he does do a great job.
I think Steve Young does a real good job for ESPN. I think that he seems to be the voice of reason sometimes on that show when other people are kind of getting a little carried away. I think that he tends to sort of dial it back, and it makes a lot of sense to me. As far as play-by-play goes, Al Michaels is my favorite, bar none.
Is that right, huh?
Bar none. I think Al Michaels, I find him very easy to listen to, for one. But I think he's just got such a vast knowledge, and it's the perfect balance of, like, sometimes, and you've done play-by-play, Rod, so you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. The job of the play-by-play man, regardless of their knowledge, is to set the table for the color guy to give his analysis. And Al Michaels, you can tell by listening to him call a game, he knows a lot about the game. There's a lot of times where play-by-play guys, I feel, they probably understand how to call a game, but I don't think they know much about the X's and O's of football. And it's not their job, so it doesn't matter. But I think that Al does understand the game very, very well. But his ability to hand off that stuff to Chris Collinsworth and then turn him loose is remarkable. And I think that Collinsworth does a great job too. But there's so many, Rod. Like, it's, as I sit here thinking, I could just keep going on and on. At that level, there's some dynamite play-by-play and color guys in both leagues.
There's no doubt. Rems, I look forward to the next time that we are seated side by side in a press box. This has been fantastic. I appreciate you coming in.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you.
The Silver Fox joining us in the bunker in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. A reminder, we've got Taco Time Viewer Takeover coming up in overtime. But first, when we return, we're going to talk some National Lacrosse League with one of my favorite members of the Saskatchewan Rush, Mark Mathews, as they get ready to open their season on the weekend. You are watching the Rod Pedersen Show on Game Plus Television Network, live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Our P-Show continues from sunny South Florida. Hope you're enjoying our program wherever you may be watching across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including Florida, on TDS Cable. Game Plus is carried. We do have a sports update coming up on a very busy day in sports, but the NLL season begins this weekend. There's one standalone game Friday night, Vancouver Warriors versus the San Diego Seals, and then a plethora of games on Saturday as the league really gets rolling, including the Saskatchewan Rush at the Halifax Thunderbirds. And joining us to talk about it is Saskatchewan Rush forward Mark Mathews, whom we've been watching for many, many years. The team has been through training camp, and now they're ready to roll, and I should ask Mark about that. First of all, welcome to the program, Mark, and are you ready for this new season to begin?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Couldn't be more ready. Having done 3 weeks of training camp here with the guys and kind of getting back to the swing of things, it's been a great time getting to see everybody again and getting back on the floor. And I know everybody's kind of chomping at the bit to get going here.
Probably the dumbest question of all time is, are you ready to get going? Because you've been off for 2 years, and the NLL has handled it differently than other leagues, but I think very smartly. But it has been a break. I mean, how are you feeling? Because we had Jeff Shatler in here a few weeks ago, and he's worried about making the team because of his age and the layoff. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, having 2 years off was, probably kind of nice for some people's bodies to kind of heal up when you don't really have all that much time playing for like 10 or whatever months of the year. But as for Shatz, he doesn't have a problem. He looked great out there the last 3 weeks, and we're just lucky to have him for one more year.
So we're going to talk about your home opener in a moment, but you are going on the road, as I said, to Halifax to open it up. Your thoughts on that game? I haven't been there. Oh, I've been to the arena, but I've never been there for a Thunderbirds game. They say it's absolutely just insane, which by NLL standards, Mark, must be saying something. because every game's insane in your league. What are you expecting in there this Saturday?
Yeah, they're pretty similar to us actually in Saskatchewan with kind of having a new team come out there and really not having having a junior hockey team, and that's pretty much it in Saskatoon. I mean, Halifax is the same kind of thing. They have the the junior hockey team that plays in the same arena, and just kind of something new for the fans out there. They they embraced it in year one, and the game we had there last time we played around, I guess it was 2 years ago, going into like a couple overtimes and having each team kind of score a few times and then it get called back was pretty nuts, and the crowd was really into it and very loud, just like I said, a lot like our arena.
Since you last played, you had some unfinished business, obviously heading towards the playoffs that year, and then they got shut down. No season last year, and now you come back, and really the only thing that's the same for you is some same faces and the uniforms. Are you going to have a new coach behind the bench? It'd be very strange for you to look back and not see Derek Keenan there. Your thoughts on that change?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's been my coach since my last year at junior, right through every year in pro. A few games off, but pretty much I don't even remember what season I'm in now, 8 or 9 or whatever we'll call it. So that's a long time with the same coach, but 7 or 8 or whatever it was of those years, Bubs has kind of been there, Jeff McComb anyway. So not an unfamiliar face, but definitely a little different. The dynamic of practice and everything's been a little different from the years past. But I guess it's pretty much same faces for the last few years for most of the guys. So to get Jimmy Quinlan back and him running the offense has been great.
We did have Jeff McComb on, the new coach, probably about a month ago. And if memory serves, he said that we shouldn't, as fans, expect much different in terms of an approach, the attacking style of the Rush. Have you seen that so far in training camp? Will we see a difference in style of play from our naked eye from the stands?
I mean, no, not at all. I don't think. Maybe a little bit different defensively with a couple new guys. Different goalie in there from the couple years past, evidently Kirky being gone. But offensively, I mean, we're a few new faces, but same structure, same offense that we've been running for since I got here. So it'll be fun to see some of these newer guys step in and see how they make out.
Let me ask you a question. What is the funnest part of being a player in the National Lacrosse League?
Oh, the funnest part would probably be traveling. I mean, traveling every weekend with, arguably, 20 of your, closest friends by the time, some of these guys I've been playing with, like 10 of them now for 8 or 9 years. So, see those guys, some of them live on the West Coast, some of them live, not very close to me at home, but, you see them every weekend and, get to go for dinner and get to play and, get to go out after the game and, have a couple beers. It's, it's great to, see those guys, especially after these 2 years being off. I didn't get to see a lot of them. So it's, those first 3 weekends were a lot of, we got a lot of getting to know each other again and kind of hanging out and being friends again.
I would have assumed that was going to be your answer, particularly with these wonderful cities that you have for road trips. And before I talk about your home opener and those home Rush games, when you saw Las Vegas was getting a team owned by Wayne Gretzky and Steve Nash, okay, you're already smiling. What did you think? Man, I can't wait to get out there.
I mean, yeah, it'll be awesome. Seeing as what the hockey team's kind of done out there, production wise and everything. I know a lot of. I mean, our team in Saskatchewan, our management went to a game out there to kind of, pluck some ideas or something to kind of get, a little more action in our arena. But, to have the ownership group that they have and kind of get the ball rolling here in the next little while with, GMs and coaching staff to start their, their run for, be able to play here in the next year or two. It'll be fun. And obviously, being in the West Coast, we'll probably play there a few times or play against them a few times. So, hopefully, we can stay out of the mix of the strip and kind of get our job done when we're there.
Well, that's why those Vegas teams always historically have the best record in whatever league that they're in. The home teams, I'm saying, best home records. And I think they are playing in MGM Arena, not T-Mobile, where the Golden Knights play. But I mean, I've been all over, Mark. I'm in South Florida now, and I will put Rush games up against anybody. And you know that. You've played there many, many times. I put them up against the Golden Knights. Just talk about that home opener against the Calgary Roughnecks, which is next weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Because, yeah, you got to think about Halifax now, but the Rush Nation will be ready to welcome you guys back. What do you think that'll be like?
Yeah, I mean, seeing some of the fans the last few weekends we were out there for training camp, and you read some messages or read some stuff on Twitter and see how excited everybody is, and speak to some of the office staff and to see season tickets, a lot of season ticket holders back. Hopefully, we'll get a really good turnout for that home opener, and having Calgary in town is always a kind of an added bonus with our group. So hopefully, we can get a big win this weekend and carry it over into our home opener and in front of our amazing fans.
Oh, for sure. Well, let's just say you'll be going into the game 1-0, and then you got your top rivals coming into the barn. I'd be stunned if it wasn't sold out. Well, Mark, you are a lot of fun to watch, and you make cheering for the Saskatchewan Rush a lot of fun. I appreciate the time, and good luck with the season. I appreciate the time today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot.
Mark Mathews of the Saskatchewan Rush of the NLL joining us today on video chat. We're going to take a time out. As I mentioned, a lot going down in the world of sports today. We'll update that when we come back in overtime, plus a full-on viewer takeover on this Taco Tuesday. Viewer takeover for Taco Time. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And the studio today comes to you from South Florida. And boy, we got a long ways to go and a short time to get there here in this overtime segment, which is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Which reminds me, I got a message here from Georgie at the Four Seasons. You're home for the UFC, the National Lacrosse League, and the Seattle Kraken Fan Club. From the Greek Freak, George Zanitsos, Dare to Dream Super Sunday at the Palace. The Riders upset the Bombers in the West Final, 3 p.m. Big screen, big sound. Then later the Leafs whoop the Jets. You know where the CFL is on the big screen, and all the NFL Sunday and NHL action is. It's up week, baby. That's from the Four Seasons, inviting you down there this Sunday for the Dare to Dream Sunday. Some messages here. John Ferguson, just give you a cross-section of where our viewership is and also the topics of which we speak here on the RP Show. On the 902 text line from John Ferguson. Hi, Rod. John here, watching on Game Plus through Rogers. I wanted to give a shout-out to my hometown, London, Ontario, Western Mustangs that are in the 2021 Vanier Cup, the 56th edition of the Canadian University Football Championship, on Saturday in Quebec City. The OUA champion, Western Mustangs, will play the Canada West champion, your Saskatchewan Huskies. Good luck to both. And as usual, Rod, a great, fun, and informative show. John Ferguson checking in from London, Ontario, the home of Eric Lindros, as he pointed out to me. Jeff Caldwell watching in Redmond, Oregon, says the Seattle Kraken beat both Washington and Florida last week. That makes Seattle the best team in the league.
How about that?
How about that? I think they actually beat Carolina, not Washington, but I get your point. And that's referring to today's poll question, which is tonight's Washington Capitals Florida Panthers game indicative of NHL supremacy? Well, let's decide the best team in the NHL tonight. And I'll be there at FLA Live Arena, 7 p.m. Eastern face-off. Over 90% of respondents saying no. 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 Well, for me, it does, okay? And it's my show. Derek writing in from Saskatoon with a screenshot. And he says, here's the minimum requirements for being bowl eligible. After that, I believe each bowl has conferences and ranks that always participate in them. Just saying, I came out of the weekend here in the Miami area just wondering how the heck are the Hurricanes in a bowl game? They're 500. I still haven't figured it out, but thanks to the viewers, I have learned it's highly confusing and really no right answer as to how this bowl system goes. Anyways, Clark was saying, can we do a Great Western Original 16 update? And we're going to do that. We do it once a week for our friends at Great Western Brewery and their Original 16 beer. And here we go. Let's go. From the moment my feet hit the floor this morning, I was thinking about the game. We've introduced a new feature on the RP Show where each day we discuss our featured game of the night, asking for the viewers' opinions too, and it's been a lot of fun. And for me, tonight's Washington-Florida clash here in Sunrise, Florida is as good as it gets. It's for supremacy in the National Hockey League, if only for a night or two. Don't look now, but the Maple Leafs own the most points in the NHL at 33, but I legit don't take them seriously. The Capitals have 33 as well and lead the Metropolitan Division. The Panthers have 31 points, the exact same as the Western Conference leading Calgary Flames, who many Westerners would tell you are the best team in the NHL. I've often said you can find something interesting about any game, but you don't have to look too far in the case of this one tonight at FLA Live Arena. In 2015 here, I watched these same Capitals with Alex Ovechkin and was unimpressed. I told Caps assistant GM Ross Mahoney that they'll never win a Stanley Cup with Ovechkin, as that night he just ran around cheap-shotting everybody. Ross just smiled and nodded. 3 years later, Ovi was skating around with the Stanley Cup. Hey, I'm not always right, but I'm always going to give you my opinion. The Caps beat the Panthers 4-3 on Friday night. Ovi had 3 points. He's second in the NHL with 19 goals and chasing Gretzky. And tonight, I'll have a front row seat. How about that? That's today's Great Western Original 16 update.
How about that?
See, that's where my head is. And by the way, I mentioned a sports update with all that's going on today. How about this? Boston Bruins coach Bruce Cassidy has been placed in the NHL's COVID-19 protocol. Cassidy is the first Bruins player or coach to be added to the protocol this season and will miss Boston's game tonight against Detroit. Don Sweeney told reporters this morning that Cassidy has mild symptoms. Meanwhile, the Ontario Hockey League's Sudbury Wolves have suspended all team activities after 12 players tested positive for COVID-19. The suspension affects 3 of the Wolves' upcoming OHL games: Wednesday at Sault Ste. Marie, Friday versus Barrie, and then Saturday at Barrie. The OHL said in a statement this morning that the status of Sudbury's games after Saturday are subject to further review. Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive back Loucheiz Purifoy was involved in an incident at a local restaurant Sunday evening following his team's Western semifinal win. The Riders released a statement Tuesday morning saying the club has looked into this matter, and while the police were called to the establishment, Purifoy has not been charged with any wrongdoing related to the incident. In a press conference this morning, Purifoy revealed he had been detained and held in a holding cell overnight for disturbing the peace after a dispute began over slow service at the establishment. While his back was turned, a woman who was with the group further escalated the situation and has been charged with common assault. Last minute of play in the RP show. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. Well, how about that? That is all the news that's fit to print. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat saying another great show. Thanks, Rod. Thank you, Chris, for tuning in. I'll always have one. Give Medano a kiss for me, and we'll see you tomorrow. From Tacona Pally, awesome. Enjoy a Panthers victory, Rod. Hey, I plan on it. We'll see you all tomorrow at noon Eastern, right here on Game Plus TV.
You screwed up, Clark.
Spicy. Hot take. Bob's your uncle. LFG. Let's go. Bingo. Right on. Oh, no. Approved.